welcome to today's episode of Full Out Flying Solo, just me. And I feel like it's becoming like hiking weather again around here. It's like, oh, it's not as rainy, so we can go out. And it made me think about this time that I really went full out and hiked Machu Picchu for 4 days with my husband. And it was probably the best thing I've ever done in my entire life. I was born in Alaska, and then we moved away from Alaska, but I did grow up climbing mountains all the time. I feel like it's a big part of my personality that nobody knows about because I don't look like somebody who's like, let's go climb a mountain. But I feel like if I'm ever stressed out or feeling like, I know I look like somebody who's like, so what are we wearing? But just to be clear, I am somebody who's like, so like, what are we wearing to climb a mountain? If I'm ever, stressed out or feeling like, anxious about things or down, I think going and climbing a mountain is extremely therapeutic for me. Just like there's something about getting above everything that feels so just kind of like, oh, none of this matters. I'm okay. Everything's okay. And I just really feel like I'm somebody who needs to be outside all the time. And my husband likes being outside. He's from Switzerland. It's beautiful there, but he's more of like let's chill and relax kind of a person. I mean, he skis and he likes to be in the mountains that way, but he's never the one like leading the charge to be like, let's go camping, let's go hiking. So this used to be like our biggest fight that we would get in, that I was like, I want to go hiking. And he doesn't like hiking in LA because it's dusty. So he's like, I don't want to get dusty. But he does like to be outside. He's like, I'd rather hike somewhere else. It's just so dusty here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like such a Swiss guy being like, it's too dirty to hike in LA. But so we would get in this big fight where I'm like, I'm somebody who needs to be outside and you're not. And he's like, I like being outside, Brittany. And I would be like, but I'm forcing you to come. And he's like, you're not. I'm willingly coming. And so a lot of it was my thing because I think I wanted somebody who was like, it's my idea that we go climb this mountain right now. And then I think I slowly had to realize we're different people and it's okay if it's my idea and he cares about me and comes with me on my thing that's my idea and he has a good time. But he doesn't have to like think of the same ideas as me. So I feel like, gosh, I think we were not even married yet. No, we weren't married. I think we were engaged. And he has one of his very best friends from childhood lives in Peru. And he's now one of my friends as well. But we were going to visit him in Peru. And I was like, I really want to hike Machu Picchu when we go to Peru. Like, that's something that I really want to do. And I know you're not going to want to do it. I was like, said so much attitude. The fact that Marco married me is like, looking back, I'm like, I was like, you're not going to want to do it because you don't like hiking. And he's like, I do like hiking, Brittany. And I was like, you don't. And so Marco makes the whole plan for us to go to Machu Picchu. He finds the guides. He finds the group. He goes to REI, buys so much equipment. And at this point, I'm teasing him because I'm like, we don't need all this equipment. We're going camping. I was like, he wants to do it in the fancy, we're going camping. I can't just rough it outside. We have lights to hang up inside of our tent so we can see. And we don't need that. We're in a tent, And he has different wipes that we can use for our arms and our feet that say it makes it feel like you took a shower because you can't shower. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Marco is going overboard on this trip. And then we fly to Lima, we see our friend for a couple days, and then we fly to Cusco where you leave to go to hike Machu Picchu. And they tell you to arrive in the town 48 hours before you leave for the hike to acclimate to the altitude. And I was like, that's bullshit. We don't need to do that. So we fly into Machu Picchu the night before we're supposed to leave, and we land at nighttime, and we're leaving at like, I don't know, 6 in the morning or something with our group. And I think we get there at like 6 p.m. Oh, also when we fly there, Marco and I, for some reason, aren't sitting together on this tiny little plane as we're flying into this mountain town. We're like separated, and the plane, it's like super windy, and the plane is like shaking, and they come on in Spanish, and I like speak Spanish, but I think my disaster brain had kicked in because they had said we might have to go back to Lima because we can't land here. And then I guess they came back on because I think I just like went into a panic about that. I was like, we're going to miss the hike because like we flew in the night before, and like we're going to have to go back to Lima. And my panic brain, like, just that's all I heard after that. And so then we land, and I thought we landed in Lima because I'm like in a panic that we're going to miss the hike. And I'm looking at Marco, who's like down the aisle in the back on the other side. And I'm like, can you believe this? And he's like, what? What? And I was like, we're in Lima. And he's like, we're not in Lima, Brittany. We landed in Cusco. Like, I just didn't hear. They ended up landing the plane in Cusco, but like I for some reason thought we had landed back in Lima and we're going to miss the whole hike. Anyways, so that happens. We go to dinner, and I'm the one that was like, we don't need time to acclimate to the altitude. So we go to dinner, and I go to eat a bite of soup that had quinoa in it. It was a broth and quinoa. And a piece of quinoa gets stuck in the back of my throat. And because of the altitude, I start, like, I could not breathe. I'm like hitting the table. I was like, like gasping for air, like being like, I'm choking on nothing. And it was so scary. I thought I was going to die. It was like for a while where I was like standing up, and Mark was like, what's going on? What's going on? And like, luckily it passed, and I like caught my breath, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that's because I'm not acclimated to the altitude. And then we go and we have a nighttime meeting with our group, and they're probably with like 12 people who are also doing this hike with us, and we're gonna leave in the morning. And you go into this little office, and they start being like, okay, they have these people who are called porters, who are basically like shamans if you're hiking, Mount Everest or whatever. But these people are incredible, and they carry your tent, they carry all your stuff. Like, you have your own personal backpack, and then they carry everything else for you. And so you can pay for like them to carry 25 pounds of stuff too, or 50 pounds of stuff or whatever. And they start being like, who paid for them to carry like X amount? And everyone raises their hands. And then they're like, who paid for the like extra amount? And like Marco raises his hand. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we did. And we're the only ones who raise our hands. And we're starting to feel like such assholes. And then they're like, who paid for the tent sleeping pads? And Marco raises his hand, so I raise my hand, and nobody else raises their hand. There were like 5 extra add-on things that nobody but Marco and I got. So we're like, okay, our whole group already thinks we're like douchey, like rich assholes who like paid for all the extra stuff. And so the next day we start to go on the hike, and Marco is like not into hanging out with any of the other people, and he's like kind of like in a bad mood. And we have people from all different countries, and it was so funny. And he's like just hiking with me, like kind of like being a little like, oh, these people are bothering me and like whatever. And I was like, Marco, the whole point of this trip is to like do something, like meet other people, like have an experience. Like, you need to like, I was like, you hate hiking. And he's like, I don't. I just signed us up to come on this trip. I don't hate hiking. And so he's like, okay, I'll change my attitude. Within 30 minutes, Marco is like everybody's best friend in the group, has no time to hang out with me because everybody's talking to Marco. And they're like, we love Marco. We love Marco. I'm like, I know. Yeah, he's pretty cool, right? Like, yeah, like I feel like Marco went on this hike with like 11 strangers and me, and that we're all now his very best friend. I think he's still friends on Facebook with like a bunch of these people. Like, I don't even remember any of their names, but so we're on this hike. Marco's like, the mascot king of the group, everybody, the prince of the group, everyone loves him. And our guide was amazing. His name was Mike. But Mike was like fun. He was a fun guide. And we're passing all these other groups that are getting these like historical lectures. And Mike's like, that is not what happened. And he's like, I have an online ebook that you can buy because I snuck into Machu Picchu one night and I spent the night there. And he's like the Incan, these like Mayan people, Mayan or Incan, I feel like I'm messing this up. But anyways, he's like, they were all like 7 feet tall and they're aliens. Like, and he's telling us like this crazy these Incan people. He's like, and every time we pass like some ruins that have like things built, he's like, see how tall this is? They were so tall because they're like aliens. They're aliens. And so he kept saying they were aliens. And then he would draw us pictures in the dirt with a stick to like explain things. And one time we were looking at these ruins because you see a bunch of ruins along the way. And he was like, okay, there's 10. I was like, how many people lived in this village? And he's like, so there's 10 houses and each house had like 10 people. So like 10,000 people. And I would be like, wait, what? I don't think that's how the math works. But it was fun and we were all laughing and having a good time. And so one of the other people in our group was a brother and sister who were doing this together. And our guide also had an assistant guide. And he barely spoke English. And this girl didn't speak Spanish. The sister girl didn't speak Spanish. But she got oxygen, like altitude sickness one of the days. And she needed the assistant guide to come into her tent and help her give her oxygen. And like it all got back to us that she like faked altitude sickness and hooked up with the assistant guide. So that was a fun like bit of gossip that happened on our trip. And she's there with her brother. And then there was also a daughter who was probably 20 and she brought her parents who were like late 50s, 60. And she thought this would be like a fun bonding experience for them. And her parents were struggling, like having the hardest time, not happy to be there. And our tent one night was right next to their tent. Oh, and I do have to add that the light in the tent that Marco got was extremely helpful. Nobody else had that. Also, our mattress pads that we got, one night everybody's tents leaked water through the bottom, but we didn't get wet because we had mattress pads and everybody else was like soaking wet in their sleep. And then we could hear this like family fighting all night, like the mom and the dad and the 20-year-old daughter. They would just be like fighting in their tent all night. So there was a lot of fun like gossip happening and you become such good friends with everybody and it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful up there. It's so hard. It's really hard because it's so many hours of hiking. And there was one day where it just like rained all day and you can't see what you're even looking at because it's cloudy and rainy. But then the sun comes out and you're like, wow, this is gorgeous. And the porters, you wake up in the morning, they have like a bowl of water for you to wash your feet and hands, like wash yourself outside of your tent. And then you go to breakfast, which is like the most amazing meal you've ever had in your entire life. And you have this breakfast while they're packing up your tent. Then they pack everything up, camp up as you start to walk, and they run ahead of you. And they go and they set up a lunch and they make this amazing lunch. And I also can't have gluten, not because I live in LA, but because I get insane migraines if I have it. And they made me like the best gluten-free options for every single meal. I had like a replacement option, which was amazing. And then they pack up the lunch, run ahead of you, get to the dinner spot, set up dinner, set up your tent, make you popcorn for when you arrive before dinner. It was like these people are incredible. And then at the end, we tipped them, like everybody tips the porters. And there were these German people in our group and they were like, we're not tipping the porters because that's the company is scamming us and not paying them, and they're just relying on the guests to tip the porters, and like it caused like this whole fight between our group because we're like, you're being such an asshole. Like, yeah, if that's happening, great, but that's wrong. Like, not great, that's wrong, but are you gonna fix it, or are you just gonna pay these people who just like worked their asses off and are like working so hard all day to like run through these mountains? I don't know. It was like a whole thing. So we all ended up paying these assholes a portion of the tip because we're like, you can't just screw people over like that unless you're going to like go into the country and change everything corrupt about what's going on there. Then like just do it, you know? So that was that. We got back to it. We didn't use our phones for 4 days. We had zero service. We got back to the place like afterwards, and where they take you after you like finish Machu Picchu, you take this train down, and everybody was immediately on their phones, like completely lost in their phones and like just so glued to their phones. And then everybody was like gonna meet up for drinks in Cusco the night we got back, and they were all like, oh yeah, we're staying at this hostel. We're staying at this hostel. Where are you guys staying? And Marco and I had booked ourselves like a super nice hotel for our last night back because we're like, we've just been like camping for like 4 nights. We should stay somewhere like nice, you know? And so we didn't tell. Marco's like, we can't tell anybody where we're staying. And I was like, yeah, we can't tell anybody where we're staying. So we didn't say where we were staying. And then, yeah, I don't know. I feel like now I have to be like, anytime I'm like, Marco, you don't like hiking. He's like, I hiked Machu Picchu with you, Brittany. Can we just like put this argument to rest? So I feel like we don't fight about that anymore because he did it. And he did go full out on the hike. He full out made a lot of friends. Okay, we're going to have Molly read some full out stories with us. I'm excited to hear people's full out stories. Molly also hiked Machu Picchu, and she has some full-out stories from Machu Picchu.
Yes.
So I'm excited to hear.
It was like my number one like dream destination, and I remember seeing Brittany and Marco do this on her Instagram, and I was like 15 at the time, I think, and I was so jealous, and I was like, no. And I remember we got coffee like maybe like a couple months after or something, and I was like, tell me everything. Like, I need to hear everything about it, like all the wrecks. But I finally did it with my mom.
Were you drinking coffee when you were 15?
Oh yeah, I started drinking coffee when I was like 13.
Oh my
I'm a
gosh.
coffee addict. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, it was like, it's definitely a full out experience, this like hiking trip. And I got my mom to come with me, and I was so anxious about the altitude. I was like on the opposite end. I was like, we have to prep, like, mom, no drinking wine, like da 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 da. Like, I was super strict with her.
Molly produces the podcast and I just like talk on it.
No, but I was so anxious about it. And I forced my mom to get meds because I was like, Mom, you're a little older. Like, you need to like be really safe and healthy.
What kind of meds?
Like altitude sickness medicine. And then she started taking them, and she was like, Molly, I'm not taking these. They're drying out my lips. Like, I'm not taking these. Like, I'm done. And she's like, I'm drinking wine too. Like, screw this. Anyway,
and I'm hooking up with the guide assistant. No, I'm just kidding.
No, so my mom like just totally like went off the rails, didn't listen to me about the altitude. She was fine. She was perfectly fine. Meanwhile, I am so sick.
Oh my
gosh. I cannot keep up on this hike. Like, I am out of breath the whole time. I'm the last one in the group. Like, I did, like, even though like I was so prepared for it, I ended up getting like so sick from the altitude. But it was beautiful. It was a great hike. And then at the end of, we only did the one night because my mom was like, I don't know if I want to camp for more than one night. So we just did the 1 night, 2-day hike. And then when we were supposed to then wake up the next day after our hike and then hike Rainbow Mountain. So it was supposed to be like 2 days Machu Picchu, 1 day Rainbow Mountain. And my mom was like, she was like, no, she's like, I just want to stay at a really nice hotel, because we had stayed at like this gorgeous Marriott hotel for like 5 nights there. And so she was like, I'll pay the difference. Like, we're just going to like relax and go to the spa. So
oh my gosh.
We were very like, it wasn't as full out extreme as I had wanted it to be, partly because of my altitude sickness and then my mom's like want for the luxury.
That's so funny.
It was a great experience. It was really cool. Oh, and then, the crazy thing is, at the little like Machu Picchu town, did you see all the like signs for like stamp your passport here, like get the Machu Picchu stamp?
Maybe. I went so long ago. I can't remember.
Okay, well, so we were done with the hike. I finally was like letting my mom and I like drink beer and like wine, and like we were drinking with our group at this restaurant, and they're coming around with this passport stamp like on a tray, and they're like, stamp your passport, and we're like, oh yeah, this is such a fun idea. We open up our passports, we all stamp our passports, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, I don't think that was legal. Like, I don't think we're supposed to stamp our own passport. Turns out it's like this huge felony. You can be like detained at the border.
Gosh.
Like, it's a really big deal. So my mom and I currently have invalid passports. We like have not been caught yet at
because I'm
the
like,
border.
I wonder if I have a Machu. Well, I've had to get mine renewed, but I'm gonna look at my old one and see
if you did
I
it.
have one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did that. It doesn't like ring any bells, so I feel like I have a pretty good memory. I would remember it, but that's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy and really stupid, but it was fun.
But clearly it doesn't matter because it's still working for you.
Still working. I've recently went abroad, so it worked.
So funny.
Yeah.
I do feel like when I was there and the last day they take you and you get to actual like Machu Picchu, and after you've seen a bunch of ruins along the way, but you see this sunrise at this certain area, like leading you into Machu Picchu. Yeah, the Sun Gate, which is gorgeous. And then you go in, and then you see all these tourists who like took the train up. And we hadn't showered in 4 days. Like we all used a bathroom there, and we're like, this is the first bathroom we'd used actually. Like, and it was, we were all like so annoyed by these other people. We were like, you don't belong here. You don't deserve it. You didn't do what we did. Get out of our way. Like we all felt so much ownership over Machu Picchu.
My mom was so grumpy about it. She's like, I just hiked for 2 days and I camped in the woods and I'm 59 and I'm angry.
You just feel so much better than all these people. And like you can tell who like hiked because you look disheveled versus the people who are like coiffed and just like got off a tourist train
and ready to take their Instagram photos. And,
I'm like, get out of the way. This is our place.
Yeah.
So, I felt so annoyed by them.
No, it's a trip of a lifetime though. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But better if you hiked it. Okay, so full out stories. First one from Stacy. Hi, loving Full Out. Not sure if you've seen the trend going around TikTok where people talk about how they would perform dances when they were younger with their cousins and friends to beg their parents for sleepovers. Kind of niche, but also seems to be a universal experience. Have you seen this trend? Or like,
no.
Okay. Well, I remember doing this when I was younger, and I've seen this trend.
Have you seen the trend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I was a cheerleader in elementary school, so I would force my cousins to perform cheer routines with me instead of dances, with stunts and all.
Oh, no.
We never got the sleepover from our parents, though, because I think the routines were so dangerous that they were scared we'd do even more if we actually got the sleepover.
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. Yeah, I feel like just teaching somebody to do a stunt on a whim is not safe. Yeah. I do remember I learned how to do a standing back, like a standing backflip, just where you just stand on the ground and flip backwards.
Yeah.
At my friend Tara's house, it was me and Chelsea, my sister, and Tara, and we were like, I think we can do these. And so we were in her room, her bedroom. I was probably, I don't know, like 10 or something at this point. And they were like 9. And we just were doing backflips in her room until we could like get it. But we would do them side by side. And her room wasn't that big. And I remember like Chelsea like landed on my hand at one point. I don't remember. But the idea of 3 little girls doing backflips in their room upstairs is terrifying to me. And that we went downstairs in the living room and we're like, look what we taught ourselves how to do.
Yes,
and we did backflips.
Yes.
And then we went to practice the next day and we're like, we taught ourselves at Tara's house in her room. And we showed our coaches and they were like, amazing. But I'm like, if anybody comes downstairs from Penelope's room and is like, look, we taught ourselves how to do backflips in the room upstairs, I would be like, no.
We're not doing this.
Other kids learning backflips in a bedroom.
No.
That's crazy.
No, but I remember doing this too with my sister because she did cheer. Or like we had our parents got us a full like gymnastics set for the garage. And so we had a bar, a beam, and like tumbling mats in our garage, which was really cool that my parents did this. But so dangerous. And kids were constantly getting hurt in our garage.
Yeah.
And like some kids weren't allowed to go in our garage because my sister was like, I'm going to teach you how to do like backflips and
it's
back handsprings.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We have a trampoline and I'm like already like, I get nervous about kids just like jumping on the trampoline.
Yeah.
So
Let alone like doing
yeah.
flips. Yeah. Okay, next one from Logan. Hey, I went full out over the holidays with my family. We aren't really one of those fun families. We're close, but not that close. So everyone kind of does their own thing, even on holidays. But this year, I was watching all these videos of families being so fun, and I got major FOMO. So I designed all these different games and forced my family to play them, and it was honestly so awkward. Anyway, just going to accept we're not a fun family.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no.
That's sad.
That is really sad. I'm sorry. Well, from TikTok, I found this game that's called We're Not Really Strangers.
I love that game.
Okay, I bought it.
Fun.
Because I was like, this is fun to do with Penelope because I feel like she's little, so it's like good questions to get her thinking about like how to
Do they have a
ask
kids
questions.
version? Or
You can play it with kids.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're playing it, and then what did she say? She said a couple things that were so funny. At one point she goes, it said something about like family members or your brother-in-law or your sister-in-law. And Penelope goes, you don't have a brother-in-law. And I was like, yes, I do. But she like just doesn't know what that word is.
Yeah.
And like the timing of it was like so funny because we had gotten in a fight at Christmas. So for her to go, you don't have a brother-in-law. Marco and I were like, you don't even know like why this is so funny.
Yeah.
And then at one point she goes, I didn't even know Dad had a job. And we were like, what? And I think she was like trying to be funny at that point because she's seen him like go to work and stuff. But it just was so funny. So maybe try that game with your family. We're not really strangers. They have good questions.
I have a sweatshirt that's like We're Not Really Strangers merch. And there's like questions on the sleeve. It's called like non-awkward icebreakers.
That's amazing.
It's a really cute sweatshirt. I'll wear it on the podcast sometime.
So cute.
It's really cute. I love it.
Yeah, it's so funny. The questions are so good. I'm trying to even think of like what one of the questions.
And then they have different packs too. They have like, I have a self-love pack for journaling. There's like a kind of more like sexual, like edgy, like dating pack. There's like
that's
a
not
best
the one
friend
I
pack.
played with my kids. I
So
played
they have
like maybe it was
too.
the kids version than one, but it says you can play. Oh, it's for kids and big kids. That's what it says. But I think by big kids it means like adults.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. It's a really fun game. Yeah. It's like
what is one of the questions even? It's like like if you had any superpower, like what would it be and why? But they go like deeper than that too. They have like 3 levels of like.
Because in
level
one of the
one,
level
and
is
it
also
gets
about the
deeper.
other person.
Yeah.
It's like perception. So it's like personal perception and then it's like connection.
Yeah, and it's like what do you not want me to ever change about myself and why?
Yes. Yeah, no,
that's a better
really
example of what they are. The flying one was the superhero one was like kind of like a fluff one, but they have like really good ones.
Yeah, no, it's a really good game. I've played it a lot. It was really popular during COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
it was
funny.
really popular and it was like just like it's a great icebreaker game. It's really fun.
And Benjamin the baby played with us too, and he ate his card. So
amazing. Even babies
he'll have
can enjoy
his
it.
question inside of him forever. You guys, thank you for sending us in your full out stories. Please keep doing them. We love hearing it. You can send it to thoughts@fulloutpod.com.
Thoughts@fulloutpod.com, yes.
You can send it to thoughts@fulloutpod.
It's been a second since we've recorded.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's that email?
Thoughts@fulloutpod.com. You can DM us on Instagram, TikTok. You can send us a voice memo on there, however you want to do it. But we love hearing them. And thanks for listening. You can subscribe to us and all the things.
Make sure you follow us too. Follow the podcast. You get notifications when a new episode drops. That's good.
Yeah, follow us.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.